The streets are buzzing. Welcome in to the trade reaction as the New York Knicks acquire Dalen Terry from the Chicago Bulls, sending out Gershon Yabusele in the Knicks' first move of the trade deadline. Is it going to be the final move? We'll react tomorrow in the live stream. But let's break this thing down. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Dalen Terry is a 23-year-old wing out of Arizona, and he is 6'7", right? His main strength is his speed, his size, with a 7-foot wingspan, and he can defend 1 through 4 positions, right? We'll take you through his numbers in Chicago and the story up until now. But first, my reaction, right? I think it was a surprising move. I thought the Knicks were going to have to attach assets to get off of Yabusele's money, but reports have come out that the Chicago Bulls value Yabusele in terms of a need. They have a lot of guards. They don't have much size and big men. So they are willing to take on Yabusele's second-year salary at the 5.8 million next year, which is something the Knicks badly needed to get off of and wanted to get off of. Now it gives them a better opportunity to re-sign Mitchell Robinson and stay under the second apron. So saving that money next season was a big reason to do this deal. But now, Dalen Terry, man, he wasn't the target a lot of Knicks fans been looking for in terms of the names, right? Najee Marshall, Alvarado, Eves Missy, and Ao Dosunmu, Sadiq Bey. But I like the move, and I'm going to grade it a B overall because I do think Dalen Terry has a lot of skills that can help the Knicks, especially from a defensive standpoint. Right, he's a blur in transition. He can handle the basketball. He can make good plays, especially on the defensive side. And we'll continue to talk about that a lot more in this reaction. Right. Now, he's been playing a lot more over the last 5 games because Chicago have had injuries. They've had the trade that have shaken things up, right? But per 36, Dalen Terry's averaging 11 points, 4 assists to 6 rebounds, and 3.2 stocks per 36. He's been playing about 20 minutes over the last 5 games, right? Averaging 8 points. Uh, Limited opportunities with a glut in Chicago with Ao Dosunmu, Kobe White, Josh Giddey, and obviously previously DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. But obviously with the coaching situation, right, Peter Patton is now with the New York Knicks as the shooting coach. He was the shooting coach previously with Dalen Terry. And the biggest upside swing with Dalen Terry now, guys, is his ability to stroke it from downtown, 3 and D. He's averaging 40% from downtown on the season, right? And catch and shoot ability at a high level, right? So I think defensively he'll help. I made a similar reaction to a trade last deadline, Jericho Sims, DeLon Wright. A lot of people were like, what's this move? DeLon Wright, who's he? Buried. He was buried in Atlanta, but he was a better fit. And I made the reaction at the time that I think he was going to fit the Knicks roster, and he ended up helping in the playoffs because from a defensive standpoint, the Knicks just need to get better at the point of attack. And maybe Leon Rose is looking at this as a move that can help now, obviously financially, but also on the court. And I think Dalen Terry can, if things go right and he gets an opportunity, because he's elite at the point of attack. Playoffs, guarding Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown. The Knicks need some more guys, more bodies that they can throw at the wings on these other squads, right? But they need to get quicker as well. Mike Brown wants to play at a good pace still. The Knicks are slowed down, but they've picked it back up. Dalen Terry's in the top 10 quickest, fastest players in the league. So he's a blur in transition and can play above the rim with his 7-foot wingspan and athleticism. Now, he was out of Arizona and can make plays offensively. That's still the weakest side of his game on offense. Can get a little sloppy with the ball at times, but I think another guy that can switch from 1 through 4 is going to fit the Knicks so much better than Yabusele did, right? Yabusele, obviously, the Knicks, the system now playing faster, getting up and down, but asking Yabusele to just spot up and shoot. And Yabusele there was concerns initially when we signed Yabu because the defensive side, right? The Knicks already have Cat at the 5, and you don't want any more liabilities on the defensive end, right? And so Yabu wasn't a great fit, but we got out of that, man. So Leon Rose deserves a ton of credit. Could be a B minus. I'll give it a B because we didn't need to attach any second round picks, which is a major surprise. Now, moving forward, guys, the Knicks save 100 grand as well. So you might think, oh, what's that? That's insignificant. No, the Knicks can now sign the 15th man 2 weeks sooner. March 26th, they'll be able to sign the 15th man if they don't make any other moves. Now, where we're going to go next is Dalen Terry can be retraded. He can be rerouted in a solo deal to get someone else. Now, he's a lot more desirable for the Pelicans, let's say, if they are still trying to get Jose Alvarado, which a lot of reports come out. Ian Begley is reporting that the Knicks still have interest in Alvarado, and Yves Missy reports that the Pelicans are looking for a first round pick for Yves Missy, but a couple of seconds might get that done. And the Knicks get to keep these seconds by not needing to use them to offload Yabusele. So we kind of got lucky in this one. Not the name and the target some Knicks fans are looking for, but hopefully with these highlights, you can get to know Dalen Terry a lot more. And Bulls fans, been mixed reactions. Some of them are just done with Dalen Terry because they picked him at 18 ahead of Walker Kessler, and he obviously hasn't panned out. And so there is some regret from the Bulls fan base. And then there is some also that side of the Bulls fan base talking about, look, Yabusele, a guy that, they're going to have to pay money to, and they're not too sure about his production. And obviously Dalen Terry can defend and is an expiring salary. So they've taken on salary when they could have just, let Dalen Terry come off the books. He does have the qualifying offer, so the New York Knicks can decide. This will give them a better opportunity to stay below the second apron if they decline the qualifying offer and they let him, expire, and then they can, pay Mitch more. They could, give Deuce McBride an extension and bring back Muhammad Diawara as well. So it ticks a lot of boxes, fam. But the biggest, reason I like this deal is because I think it addresses the Knicks, a weakness with this Knicks squad, which is point of attack defense. Now, Dalen Terry can navigate screens at a high level. He's kind of slim but athletic and can navigate the picks, can stay in front of defenders, use his 7-foot wingspan. And as you see here, he's excellent in transition and he's confident, right? A lot needs to be said about fit because Chicago, like I said, they've been losing games for years now, play-in team. I don't think Dalen Terry fits Chicago as well as he fits the Knicks because we have guys to score. We have guys to put the ball in the cup and fill it up. We need guys to play physical, use their size and length on defense. Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, been questionable at the point of attack at times. OG Anunoby is a bigger body. But Deuce McBride, man, we're going to talk about that tomorrow on the live stream because Deuce is getting a second, third opinion, and it's looking like there is more to the ankle injury, right? More than just soreness, right? Which could mean something structural. More than that, potentially. We hope not. But this is another body that can come in and handle the rock. And I think if Dalen Terry was on the squad to start the year, he probably would have, supplant Jordan Clarkson by now. I think he's ahead of, McCullough, obviously, got more NBA experience. Mike Brown's been willing to, experiment with rotations, give guys a chance, play deeper rosters on, on back-to-backs as well. I think Dalen Terry's going to get some opportunities, Keon Ellis was a success with Mike Brown in Sacramento. Can Mike Brown get something out of Dalen Terry? Now, it's a solid flyer, expiring contract, has the tools to help the team out in a limited role. It ain't going to be a major role if there's, any kind of role. I think it's going to be 8 to 12 minutes. I think he fits better than Clarkson does from that standpoint. Hopefully Deuce is healthy, but Kolek going to need some defenders around him as well. I think, Diawara, McCullough, and Dalen Terry complement each other from a defensive side. Switchability, Macau Bridges and OG, a lot on their shoulders, fam. Um, so yeah, with Dalen Terry, like I said, with the stats, they don't jump off the page because he's getting situational minutes, but he's been getting a lot more minutes over the last 5 games, and he's shooting 40% from downtown on the season, reuniting with Peter Patton in New York City, right, and thriving with the catch and shoot. But yeah, some of the qualities I like about Dalen Terry is the physicality. He likes contact. He can finish through that contact as well and play above the rim. But the speed is something I'm looking for as well. And point of attack defense, right? The Knicks got a little bit out of Delon Wright, right? He was just over the hill. Let's call it like it is. Delon Wright was 34, I think 34, 35 last postseason, but the Knicks needed him. Thibodeau called upon Delon Wright, gave us some solid minutes in the Indiana series, but Dalen Terry's younger, bigger, more athletic. I think he's a bigger version of McCullough and would fit well next to Mohamed Diawara. Now, the Knicks might end up liking him, but he does have a $7 million option, 7.5, I think, around the 7 point range contract offer for next season, right? I think they're most likely going to decline that no matter what happens, even if he looks great, because they just need that money freed up for the summer so that they can make an offer for Deuce McBride for Mitch. Currently, the Knicks would be, I believe, according to Bobby Marks, $22 million below the second apron, right, as things currently stand. So with that 22 million, that gives them a little bit to extend Mitch, Deuce, Diawara. We'll see if, Dalen Terry's option can fit in that one. But at least they have that choice now, man. They get off of Yabusele's money. I do want to, mention, Yabu's been a professional. It just hasn't fit, hasn't worked out. Looked good on a bad team last season. Leon Rose, I was high on the pickup, but I did have concerns defensively the moment that signing was made. Um, overall, I do think just the fit of the roster, the Knicks don't need offense really, and Yabusele is an offensive-minded guy. They need more dogs. They need more physicality and tenacity, and Dalen Terry brings that as well. He's a wiry guy, and we'll see if he can thrive in the Mecca, because we all know it's all about fit as well. He could thrive out here. I think he's exactly what the Knicks need. He can handle the ball too. Now, Kolek undersized, getting major opportunities. Is Kolek still a little bit up and down in his second season, but has shown massive improvements as Tyler Kolek. But you need bigger guys around him if you are going to play the undersized guard from a defensive standpoint. Basically, the math should be, guys, in the playoffs, you can't have more than one defensive liability on the floor in one lineup. If you have two defensive liabilities in a lineup in the playoffs, they're going to pick that apart. That you're going to get killed, and we already have that with Cat and Brunson at times. I think Brown's trying to stagger their minutes, and Cat works well with the other guys when Brunson's off the floor, and to close games out, you're probably going to rock with Cat. But I like Mike Brown's ability to substitute defense for offense. We saw that last night in the big win over the Denver Nuggets, man. More flexibility, subbing in McCullough for defensive possessions, playing Diawara. I think Dalen Terry is going to get an opportunity with Mike Brown if he sticks around. Now, I'm leaning towards Dalen Terry sticks around. Um, I think they've tried to get Alvarado. They've contacted New Orleans. It could just be a case of, the posturing, maybe wanting the Knicks to put more draft picks in there. At least with this deal, we get off of Yabu and we get to keep those picks too. And I think Leon Rose is really going to try to get an Eves Missy. There's buyout guys, which we haven't mentioned too. Pat Connaughton's got bought out. Lonzo Ball looks like he's going to get bought out. Some other guys too. Chris Middleton won't be eligible to sign with the Knicks if he gets bought out because he's earning over the 14 million. But anyone else below 14 million that gets bought out, the Knicks will be able to look at as a buyout situation. So I think tomorrow, man, we'll break it down as we react to the conclusion of the trade deadline. I do think Dardier and Yabu, well, Yabu's gone now. I do think Dardier, possibly Clarkson, could be on the move, but I do think Dardier is going to be on the move and potentially Dalen Terry. Now, one restriction is they can't package Dalen Terry with someone else like Yabu. You can only reroute or retrade Dalen Terry as a solo deal, but it does work with Jose Alvarado if you are inclined. But I like Dalen Terry's fit, man. I think the Knicks need to get bigger, and I think maybe they have pivoted because you see, Kolek able to facilitate and do the offensive side of things. You just need a guy that's going to complement him for the defensive side of things. And I think those two could be a solid backcourt, running partnership with Dalen Terry and Tyler Kolek, and his ability to switch onto other guys. But Ian Begley's reporting the Knicks still have interest in Jose Alvarado. The Pelicans are reportedly looking for a first round pick for Eve Missy too. So that could be a little too steep, but there could be some other surprises, other names like tonight, man, like we did not expect. Just after midnight, the Knicks pulled this deal off and got off of Yabu's money for no picks, and we welcome in Dalen Terry, right? Bulls fans conflicted, Knicks fans wishing Yabusele on his way, and I get to know Dalen Terry, man, as we approach the home stretch on the season. The Knicks are one of the hottest teams in the league, the hottest team in the East right now. 8-game winning streak, right? We need to go 22-9 in the remaining 31 games to get to 55 wins, fam. So we're going to do a countdown ticker. My prediction was 56 when the season began. My preseason prediction was 56 wins, but I think 55 is a nice round number and double nickel for the Knicks to get to 55 wins now. They've got to go 22-9, right? But they're absolutely rolling. We do got to play Detroit 3 more times. And the Knicks got to play Boston. They've got to play Oklahoma 2 more times. And I think the schedule in the second part of the season is tougher, but I think they can get to 52, 53, up to 55 wins, right? If they continue on this roll. But we need health, man. Mohamed Diawara gritted it out. He came back, but Josh Hart is banged up, right, with the ankle. What's with the ankles, man? These guys, hopefully they're doing everything they can. Tape the ankles up, get these high tops, get these mid tops, right? Enough with these ankle rolls because it's taken out too many guys, man. Just Brunson averages an ankle roll every couple weeks. Hart the same. Mitch, now Deuce McBride. Diawara rolled his ankle the other night. Nikola Jokic, the Joker, rolled his ankle last night on OG as well. So we hate these injuries, man. Knicks need to get healthy, and we bring in some help. Right, the cavalry is on its way in case Deuce McBride has to miss more time, man. But appreciate you, man, for rocking with us on this pre-record. I'll be live tomorrow as the trade deadline concludes. Hit that thumbs up. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, right? What do you know about Dalen Terry? What do you think about this pickup, right? And these highlights too. And some Bulls fans hopefully weigh in. I'll be happy to reply to any comments on Yabusele. There's not too much to too much new to really, give his insight. Yabu had his best year last year. I just don't think he was a great fit on the Knicks, but he can still be a sporadic role player if you need some offense and you need some size, but not in an up-tempo system. I think in a half-court system, he can make some plays. He's a vet, still got some, experience. He could help on a team like potentially Chicago. Hopefully it works out for both sides, fam. But yeah, the streets are buzzing, and I will see you tomorrow, man. Trade deadline. It goes down.